with their debuting stuff, and there's no way to recharge batteries.
Yeah, there isn't.
Because no, we'll get, okay, let me see, I don't want my pocket, okay, here's like a AAA, which is too far away, but we will go to events. A lot of cameras will run off of AA and AAA lithium batteries.
I know, we used to love that with the old Sony. Yeah.
But what will happen is photographers that come by have, you know, have you got any spare batteries? My battery, because there's no way to recharge them.
Yeah.
And the unique thing too about the Canon thing, I mean, we have photographers that we know. They know that we don't run through our battery, so they'll come. Can I change battery with you?
Well, because here's the great part I love about the Canon batteries is they last a really long time and they do not take an exceptionally long time to charge.
Yeah.
Those two reasons are the reason to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're gonna have fits between, you know, the poor guys that we know when they see us the next time, because we haven't. Our next event isn't until later this month. But they've only seen us with the older Canon with the batteries that like their Canon. When they want to play the new batteries, as you showed, are not the same. So. Well,
in part, the other thing is this shoots the video. It does not. It shoots in CMOS.
Yeah.
In CMOS.
And
which actually is the video that's used a lot of times for the video cameras.
Yeah.
But one of the things is I think it's one chip CMOS, isn't it?
One chip CMOS.
Yeah.
Most of our video cameras are all 3 chips quality, which tend to make them a little more expensive. But if you want to shoot something to sell video-wise, you actually need 3 chips in order to make it quality. You can't. Because for real broadcasting, otherwise it's just junk. I would think 1 chip works, but you know, we you know, like I said, we're trying to tell people. You know, we've used these things. We've used the older Canon for 3 years. It's covered everything. It's never failed. The new Canon, basically, not a spring chick, is falling in love with because of the fact that, okay, she will go to things where there's not a lot of light. But there is light. There's too much light for your flash gun, not enough light for other things. And she's able to get nice quality pictures like gifting suites and things like that with the newer lenses and the newer camera.
Yeah, I've been very, very happy with it. I mean, I liked the old camera before, but I really, really like this. But here's the part to remember is, although they are autofocused, right, they are not a point and shoot.
Not a point and shoot, because she had to learn. You know, actually, what we did was we went to the top of a hillside, and I showed her how to do it. Because I grew up in an era when they didn't have autofocus, period, and you just had to sit there and focus it and do all your adjustments, and then you set it in, and then it was locked for everything you did. But you know, she had to get what.
Well, I had to remember, because part of it is this is actually a smaller Sony. I have another one that was a larger Sony that I had before I got this one, which was an advanced point and shoot. But it was a point and shoot, which means you point, you shoot, it's in focus.
This is not this way, because you have to focus it first. It does have autofocus, but if you don't take the time to focus it on the focus ring and to set things up before you push the trigger, the shot that you might want, you're not going to have in focus.
Well, because part of it is remember, what the camera is focusing on may not be necessarily what you want it to focus on.
Autofocus will focus at the nearest point to you. You have to focus it where you want it to be focused on, which was, she discovered that when she was doing, she does commercial photography too. She discovered when she went out that everything, I kept telling her, everything is in focus. They were in focus, but she was getting at things here because that's where the camera was.
Well, actually, no, I think part of that was because this is an 1855. I was shooting with a wide angle, which is 10 to 24.
Yeah.
Which actually, with the wide angle, at the furthest edges, you can get a little bit of what they call barrel distortion.
Yeah.
Because it's like 10 millimeters. So it's like.
But you pick a point in the horizon, focus on that point further out. Instead of letting the camera focus, autofocus will focus, okay, say I've got, the camera is way back there. Up in front of the camera we have our lights. The bloody camera is going to focus on the light in front of me because it's the closest thing with definition. Whereas I want to focus on the camera, so I just, like I said, I just automatically put the thing up, focus on the camera behind me, and then it eliminates the autofocus part there because it's going to stay on the light for it's going to stay on the camera for X amount of shots. But then it's going to drift back to the nearest object again because that's what autofocus does. But you can, on these, take them off of autofocus and put it on manual, which allows you total control of every shot.
Yeah, but I have to tell you, I am absolutely in love with this camera, and I'm looking at the next lens that we're getting.
Okay, the next lens is going to be a cross between this zoom lens and this one because we want a wider angle, longer lens. It's probably going to be unfortunately at least a foot long.
Although, you know, I did see one. It's a 28 to 135.
Yeah.
That I like very, very much, and I think you can get it for about $600 or $700.
But we can guarantee you though that lenses on SLRs, digital SLRs, can end up costing you far more than the cameras.
Yeah, they can.
Because we do know a gentleman, for instance, that he bought a $1,900 camera and a $10,000 lens to go with the camera.
That's true. Oh, well, actually, that's another thing, because a lot of times, most people have those point and shoots that are really little, and then you've got the advanced point and shoots, which are larger but can do a lot more. But what happens is it's like, oh, it goes 15 times zoom. You don't, on a digital SLR, you don't do 15 times zoom.
No.
Which means you don't have this little compact thing. You can take better pictures, but you've got multiple lenses.
Yeah, and there's another thing to remember too, when you get a digital SLR, is that while you might buy a Canon lens for your Canon, you might buy a Nikon lens for your Nikon, that doesn't mean that it's going to be able to hold the lens that you buy for it.
You know what, actually that's a really good point, because some of those lenses are so large, in fact they have monopods that they carry.
The lens.
Right, because remember when we were at NAB?
Yeah. One of the guys busted.
Bojan?
Yeah.
And the Kata bags. What were they saying?
Yeah, they absolutely said that one of the things that people over lens for their body because it can snap. The weight of the lens can snap off of your camera body because they are not designed. Because I mean, like this is the mount here. You can't see it from back there, but this is meant to go. It basically is a very lightweight, very thin mount. A camera, the longer lens on the thing weighs. Basically it's out here. And it's putting a tremendous amount of strain on your body. And they were talking about the fact about people busting, they're
busting their body with the lens.
They bust the body. They wipe out, and then the lens would hit the floor. They lose the camera lens. They destroy the body. They're simply, like they had the screw-in thing to sit there so you could. They didn't recommend buying a lens, even though it's made for the same company for the body. But if you did do it, they had mount that you could sit there and screw into your lens that would allow you to hold the weight off the body, because that's what we're talking about. Too many people over lens for their camera.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's great to go to Costco and Best Buy to buy things. Take a look on the internet to see what people are saying, or even go talk. I always find camera stores are a great place because they tell you things. Yeah. They have resources, and they use the equipment.
Yeah, talk to other people.
They talk to all the photographers.
Because we'll do it all the time. I mean, people will come up and ask us about it. I mean, we know one photographer. He started out with the 45-pound over the shoulder, and then we were smaller. And he said, "Oh, I'm going to, So he went to a smaller one, and then when he went to the smaller one, we came with the new generation, the new ones, which did everything that his smaller one did. Except it was in a 5-pound package. So the next time we saw him, he's got a camera duplicating ours so that he could, because a lot of what they want to do, a lot of what they're doing now is the video photographers are shooting still pictures at the same time because the smaller video cameras allow them
to do both.
And now when they can simply shoot stills. I mean, you can shoot stills and video with most of the video cameras out there, most of their stuff today. But now they can shoot SLR quality and video with both hands at the same time, and then real quickly switch off to shoot video. If you want to do video where you're shooting a video, you can shoot.